a seeded team coming into the series. So Origen have choice 1, 3, 5. Misfits have choice 2 and 4. And already we're maintaining at least one of the same bans for Origen. As Tam Kench taken off, that was the first ban in the previous game, as was the Malzahar. So not that much of a change up yet. But what this does give Misfits Academy is potential 2 counter picks and the pacing around phase 2 draft, where you're able to pick one champion, ban 2, and then pick the next champion that comes through.
We'll see if there is going to be any more denial than there was last time. Origen, they banned out Pride Stalker's Graves and the Rengar, but they left him the Kha'Zix, which he looked more than comfortable on. Not going to throw any of those bans that direction this time, so clearly they're not fearing that side of the map.
Origen not wanting to give KozQ a potential Syndra in the first rotation for Misfits Academy. Of course, that was played by Negan in the last game, and he actually had a good game, I would say. Like,
solid laning phase, was able to get a couple of key picks that kept Origen in it, and there's the Graves ban.
Is this because they're expecting Misfits Academy to ban Rengar and Origen are going to first pick Lee Sin or Kha'Zix?
Good question.
Okay, now they basically forces Origen to pick the Rengar first.
All right, he's going to lock it in, and is that what Misfits wanted? You have to think. It's a possibility here, and they don't need to worry about picking up jungle on this rotation since Origen have already locked theirs. The Lulu came up big last time around.
They may, however, pick up jungle here anyway, whether it's a Lee Sin or the Kha'Zix for Pride Stalker. And the reason that you do that is that you don't want to be forced into a tricky situation in this last pick on red side first phase, where Origen basically demand one pick comes out of you, something like a Gnar or a Fizz or something to counter that you know will get banned, and then you have to decide between jungle or a solo laner. But it's actually not the way they go here.
Yeah, decided to get themselves the same bottom lane as they had last time around, and Yuki and Dreams didn't have too much trouble with it. So, back over to Origen. They've got their jungle locked in. What are they going to take from here? Shen was up and available again, and they lock it in. This time it'll be in the hands of Origen, and now what is going to be their last choice of this first pick phase?
Well, if they don't pick AD carry here, it's going to get pinched. If they don't pick support here, it's going to get pinched. But we know Peke can still play the likes of Braum.
And it's...
There's the AD carry again.
Yep, no trick plays this time around, or no tricks on the pick, because we have the Shen already locked in, so it's a pair of ninjas for Origen. Sticking to the guns, but we'll see if Satorius will look more comfortable on the Shen. It's been something that he hasn't really been able to get his hands on a whole lot. A grand total of 1 pick in the LCS spring split.
So now Kha'Zix will be the pick for Misfits Academy. Now they've got to turn their attention. It's going to be mid lane focus, probably out of both teams here. Although Origen can focus away the top lane matchups into Shen. May see bans against the likes of Gangplank, Rumble, both are big picks that you can play into that Shen.
Starting on the support, though, on Misfits Academy side, they banned the Zyra out. Following on the Malzahar, and Origen banned Talia.
Interesting. Interesting. We've seen a lot of Talia over in LCK. Saw one game out of KozQ on the Talia, and it was a decent game.
But there's so many weapons left up and available for KozQ at the moment. He may have gone back to his assassin roots last time on the Akali, but Katarina's also up. The Cassiopeia is also up. Origen have 1 ban left.
Yeah, there's a lot still to ban away. And LeBlanc's off the table now. Syndra gone from the earlier phase. There goes the Cassiopeia. That's what we were talking about.
Does this mean we get... I mean, I was about to say, is KozQ going to blind pick Katarina? I'm like, I don't know if he's that crazy, but he may be.
He may do. There are a couple of tough matchups, obviously, for Katarina. Most matchups are difficult. You're reliant on snowballing. I don't necessarily think KozQ is that crazy, but there's Oriana available if they want it for a mid lane matchup.
That was left through as they focused on the KozQ bans, and now Jisoo will have the Rumble matchup, something that he's only played once as well in the Challenger Series. The answer is
likely to be the Oriana here for Origen. They've got the Rengar already, they've got Shen, they've got Kennen. Strong team fighting.
Yeah, they do. And they can round it out with a nice safe pokey support.
Good at team fighting as well. Get massive shields. So now, what do you play into the Oriana? We're going to have to see what KozQ can bring.
Without locked in.
Is he going to do it?
I mean, I wonder if this is really just like, no matter what they were going to pick, KozQ's like, give me cat, guys. I mean,
it's not the easiest of matchups. I mean, you can play around the ball. We may see this. Again,
there we go.
It's not a particularly easy matchup. Oriana does not lose many matchups, just like she doesn't particularly win very many matchups. And This now puts a little bit more of a timer on Misfits Academy to get Pridestalker and CosQ working. Like, sure, if Nakian makes a mistake here, it's a matchup that you can exploit, but Origen, theoretically, have a good team fighting comp between 20, well, you know, in that mid game. They should be able to do quite well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think more to your point, CosQ, he showed in the last game he wasn't afraid of taking a matchup that may not favor him too much because he wanted to be able to do a lot of work on the side lanes and try to hunt down carries. Question is, can he do it again now that he's facing off against the Shen insurance policy that Origen are bringing to the table? And Origen, as you mentioned, have a very strong team fighting comp. I'm looking forward to see what the two junglers bring out with the Rengar Kha'Zix. That's always a fun matchup. But Duck giving his team some last-minute words of encouragement. You do not want to go down 0-2 to start the series. Everything's on the line to try and get one more game back to keep yourself alive as the coaches shake hands to walk off the stage.
I'm a little surprised, perhaps, that Origen banned the Talia instead of banning the Rumble away when that Shen's already locked in. I mean, if you kind of assume that the Misfits Academy lineup aren't going to be able to team fight effectively against what you've already got, then I can kind of see that. But it does kind of disrupt what Origen want to do fairly heavily. Sartorius struggled in game 1 in the laning phase. Now he's in a tough matchup as well. Rumble into Shen should work out quite well for Misfits Academy.
Well, we're about to find out. Origen, Misfits Academy, part 2. Let's see if Origen can fire back. Ooh, hits me every time. I don't know if we're dreaming, but that sounded like Inception to me.
You might want to go watch Inception again at some point.
It's been a while.
There's not a lot of time to watch movies right now, though.
No,
it is,
definitely not.
Playoff season, so everybody is
sick of it.
Prepping for everything. The players, the casters, everybody's trying to get as much as they can ahead of this weekend's playoff games as well as promotion. Of course, playoff kicks off tomorrow.
Yes, it does. That'll be some important matchups. It's going to be the other Misfits squad taken out or against Splice. I can't verbs today, Stress.
You had the right word, taken on Splice.
I know, and then I dropped it. I dropped it
levels.
like a hot gold lead. All right, starting this one off. Line of scrimmage, no trickery. Don't see any 5-man brush camps. Sartorius going for the triple rejuve bead start. Doesn't think Jisoo will be too much to worry about. He's also gone for an amp tome to kick things off.
It's very common against Rumble. You have these trades, and you heal back up, and you trade again. So rather than potions, you just put it all in rejuve beads, because most of them, Synchro with a little trickery on the blast cone, most of them end up going into like Tiamat and that kind of thing. So starts on the Raptors, being very common. It was nice of Jisoo though, gave a little help over to Pridestalker, started on the other side. Of course, Kha'Zix relying a little bit more on that isolation. That's good damage already down onto Peke. Yeah. Difficult to deal with the help picks. Passive.
As much as we talk about Karma being a part of a pokey lane, when you look at Varus, Lulu, that's something that really can't be denied right now, so we might see them pushing up early. And Syncroft, if he wants to get involved early, he's in the right spot to do it, but only level 2. We shouldn't see too much action out of there right now.
Yeah, he's likely to go for this start where you clear half of the jungle after Krugs. Maybe go Rift Scuttler and Recall. Sometimes we see that come through. Rift Scuttlers have only just spawned though, so we'll have to track Synkrov through this jungle route, see if he does end up recalling off it, and how that impacts the next phase. Because by this time, last game, Sartorius had already died.
Yeah, this is definitely shaping up to be a different one. We'll see how different. Synkrov on half his health bar at level 3. Heading through the lane. Looks like he got spotted by Yuki, throwing down a ward in that river brush, and Synkrov's actually going to take it back without picking up Scuttle. Yeah,
Synkrov clearly tabs, and Peke communicated that Yuki was dropping back in the lane to place that ward, so denies any Scuttle Crab early plays. Now, if you assume Pridestalker takes this Scuttle Crab, it means Synkrov should have the time to go and place a ward or a control ward in the enemy jungle, maybe just shallow, because Pridestalker is likely only now to be killing the Scuttle Crab. We'll see whether Synkrov actually goes for that.
Ooh, good trades down bot once again. Peke and Tabs grouping up for the Glitter Lance.
But look at what Misfits Academy have done now. Now that they haven't seen Synkrov around that Scuttle Crab, the ward comes out from CosQ. into the river, just tracking. Again, another ward has gone over onto that like catwalk area around mid lane. Misfits Academy are all over trying to find where Synkrov is early on.
They might get him. So Jisoo, no, he's not going to spot that one out. Takes a blast cone out safely once again, but they know he's there.
But the fact that he wasn't on Wolves, they haven't seen him in River. They didn't see him in bottom River either. Now they've obviously spotted him. They know exactly where he is. But it meant that Misfits Academy could play with a lot of aggression on bot lane, pushing heavily up. CosQ could take some more aggressive trades. They had at least good understanding of where Synkrov wasn't for the most part of the last minute and a half.
And that's good communication and coordination out of the Misfits Academy squad, showcasing that they're able to react quick enough to make things happen here. Tab's taken low once again. Dreams just keeps on harassing them. The piercing arrow even follows through, and it might be even on farm, but Tabs is looking worse for wear.
You got to look at the health potions at this point. They are not even on health potions at all. Kennen has already used all 3 of the health potions he started with. Karma's used her health potions as well, whereas Yuki started Doran's Blade and still has his pots available. Dreams has had to use 1 or 2. But it's still in Misfits Academy's favor here. They're just going to push with this Varus, with this Lulu, and just get harassed down again and again and again.
Yeah. Well, we talked about the Origen game plan seem to be revolving around those mid-game team fights, so they just want to buy themselves some time, don't need to get gold leads early on, but you know, for the entire time, Misfits Academy, this whole series, it seemed like the ideal situation was to try and come in and snowball games like they did against the likes of Schalke 04. See if they're going to be able to do it again.
And that only really started having effect in the playoffs. Maybe the last couple of weeks on the lead up to, but Misfits Academy were a very slow and steady team throughout the split. Of course, starting with Kadir in the jungle after they lost Llamabat before the split began. Now we're going to have to see how they can handle Origen. I mean, Synkrov just showed himself, so surprise.
Lane gank not so effective when you walk up in plain sight at the end of it. He is helping to force them back and around, but now with these 3 Origen members pushed up, it's a half-health Tabs.
And the reason they bring Synkrov in here isn't actually to gank. I was kind of making light of that. The reason here is, look at it, it's kind of minion wave, which means if Origen back out and Misfits Academy kill a couple of minions and just let it push, it means Origen will have the wave pull away from them. They'll lose a lot of experience. They will lose a lot of pacing on that lane as well. So they had to have somebody come in and push it under the tower so that the wave resets fully. And you can see the minions now meet in the middle of the lane. Means neither team has that massively influential recall.
Yeah, small advantages, but not many. Origen are trying best they can to really neutralize this Misfits Academy early game, but now you see Yuki and Dreams taking a leaf out of Origen's book from last time around. They're getting a swap off, 6.5. Pridestalker's already here. Jisoo is as well on level 6. And Pridestalker is spotted and stopped up while the Gromp will reset from Synkrov. Sartorius could be in a little bit of trouble as Peke and Tabs are actually coming into mid, and now that's been spotted by CosQ.
Yeah, it has been spotted. I just wanted to check whether Dreams pushed the wave at all before they left it. Sartorius is TPing back in. Ooh. They don't realize that Yuki and Dreams are here. So yes, they have Stand United available, but if nobody's down in that bottom lane, it means Jisoo is going to have a lot of time to push it back out. However, of course, the fact that Jisoo is there means that the numbers advantage is in Origen's favor on this top side. Sartorius now going to have to recall. That's painful. Yeah,
that sucks. The moment you burn your TP, you realize, hold on a minute, the dual laners have arrived, and now Jisoo on the bottom side, he'll get a lot of free time, and Sartorius has to walk the long path to get back down to bottom lane.
Observer's giving us a nice idea of how slow that process is.
No
for Sartorius getting back, yeah.
And Jisoo's just going to let the wave crash.
Yep, well, I mean, he knows that Sartorius can't be there in time, so he's just going to ward up, make sure he doesn't get killed by Synkrov appearing bot side anytime soon. He knows Rengar is roughly 6 because Pridestalker has matched the pacing on that. But again, we're in an awkward spot where neither team has really pushed off this lane swap initially. Pridestalker may go and take Drake. Mountain Drake's a little tougher to take than that Infernal Drake that we saw in the first game.
Mm-hmm. It definitely has been a lot slower affair. Misfits Academy had started the game by really working well on the top side, all instigated by Jisoo getting a solo kill onto Sartorius, but even that stalled out a little bit. Mountain Drake should be a pretty important objective, though, and with the control they now have on the bottom side, you can see CosQ and Pridestalker making their way in that general direction, clearing out the Scuttle Crab, try and get that investment back a little bit later. We'll see if they end up ganking the teleport down bottom. Sartorius doesn't have his. And Pyratechnics is just going to go ahead and solo the mountain.
Yep, same type of thing from game 1. He's not the Viper, though. Viper couldn't solo the mountain either.
I mean, he got close, let's be honest. Pyratechnics looks like he's going to get a lot closer.
That still disgusts me, by the way, every time I think about that.
Well,
yep.
Yeah, that
don't have the strongest stomach. So Pyratechnics, I'm pretty sure. Well, he's not spotted because there's a control ward. But the honey fruit ran out.
Oh no! Oh,
at least it wasn't the Rift Scuttle that came across and ate it in front of him.
All right, well, fortunately for Pyratechnics, this isn't a trial by combat.
Yeah.
Jisoo ends up securing the Mountain Dragon, and now he gets a little bit of a clear out. So that'll help to try and get Misfits Academy ahead to knock down some towers. But Syncroft, he's been hiding out in the shadows. Misfits Academy, they're not having any of it though.
Yeah, now Syncroft's being spotted again. Misfits Academy have done a good job of tracking him throughout this entire early game. Very few plays Syncroft has managed to make. The only real one was pushing out the bot lane. So really a testament to a lot of this early game warding out of the Misfits sister team.
Yeah, goes to show the macro that they've been able to develop and showcase, and in a lot of ways, it's been better than what we've seen from Origen on the big LCS stage. Obviously, difference in opponent quality, and the record that Misfits Academy had up until the playoffs wasn't particularly impressive, but the growth we're seeing out of them is nothing short of spectacular.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at things like a promotion tournament, a lot of people talk about like quality of opponents, and realistically, this of course is a tournament to replace the people you're beating. So it doesn't matter whether you did this against even G2 in like one
You're
series,
clearly better
right?
than an LCS squad if that's the case.
It's like if you can't win in this situation, you probably can't win in the LCS, even if you were to beat the likes of G2 in a game or something. Not that Origen did, but it's all about playing on the day, and that's what teams like Schalke and PSG ran into real trouble with, is they didn't perform to their expectations on the day and dropped the series to both Misfits Academy and Fnatic Academy, and now we find ourselves in the promotion tournament with those two challenger teams representing European Challenger Series.
Absolutely, and a lot of it did come down to the preparation for Misfits Academy coming in, really able to deal with what Schalke was kind of dishing. And, well, in game number 1, they did seem to have Origen's number. It was not the cleanest at all times, but they definitely were able to shore up advantages where they had it. And for right now, they're not building huge leads, but they're not giving Origen anything either.
Right, and it wasn't the same type of game either coming out of Misfits Academy. And the series against Schalke was more about just smashing that jungle role and transitioning it into further kills. As you can see, vision control shown, but it's a gank up topside.
Yeah, speaking about jungle pressure here now, Jisoo finding himself isolated between Syncroft and Sartorius. Can he walk it out? Oh, he turns back around. The burn is not enough to kill Syncroft, and the TP's canceled. First blood to Origen.
Origen with a big statement now that they'd seen Yuki and Dreams leave. They've seen Pridestalker on that ward. Peke moved towards him.
Pridestalker gets some quick revenge onto Peke. Too quick to even flash out of danger, and a wild growth for good measure.
Peke had flash and hit seen Kha'Zix on that ward. That goes horribly wrong for Misfits Academy. Sorry, for Origen. Disrespecting Misfits Academy there. I mean, Pridestalker was always coming into that lane. As soon as you see him on that ward, he's going to pop his ult and jump in. Not sure why Peke and the rest of Origen didn't just respect that. Tabs going aggressive now, flashes forward. That TP hasn't completed yet.
Tabs, he is a little bit off the mark right now, and even with heals coming up, no, he's going down. Sartorius and Syncroft looking to try and mop this one up, but they've already lost one. Will they lose more? Even Peke's coming, but Syncroft's taken low. Now Cosq is around the side. The tether's broken. Charm will not land, and Misfits Academy looked like they'd overstepped, but they still managed to get out and pick up another kill in the bargain.
And Cosq couldn't quite connect with everything, but certainly making Origen pay for just blindly aggressive plays. So Syncroft goes into the top lane with the Shen. They manage to take down Jisoo, even though Syncroft drops very low. It's a good start to this one, getting first blood for the team. Sartorius maybe a little bit of a redemption kill after dropping first blood earlier. And watch Peke see Pridestalker on a ward, dodge up towards him because he had to, but doesn't flash back away, doesn't try and escape. Maybe at that point he thinks he's already dead, so holds his flash, which, you know, you can argue may save him later. We'll have a look at that. But this was Tabs, remember, going aggressive. He flashed in himself onto Dreams and Yuki because he thought Sartorius was going to be there faster, and he wasn't. Cosq, a little unfortunate here, doesn't quite hit anything.
Okay, Syncroft going in for round 2 right now. Jisoo, he does throw down another ultimate, but there are 3 members here as he tried to burn down Syncroft. It was not enough. Origen get themselves a 2nd kill, but you got to take a look at the important distinction here. Misfits Academy, after each one of their kills, they were able to get a tower. And 2-0 right now on the game. That's making up a fair amount of that gold difference. It's about 2,000 in favor of that team.
This game's gone a little crazy.
So did game 1.
Yeah, but this one's gone crazy.
Different crazy.
A little early, yeah, different kind of crazy. Both teams kind of just throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Now KazQ looking to try and make another side play. You can see Misfits Academy unafraid to push up into enemy territory. They have a few wards, but they are being matched a little by Origen. Well, there's a Cloud Drake on the menu soon enough. Easiest next tower would be the one in the middle, but I say easy. You're up against an Orianna, completed Morellonomicon.
It feels, while we're watching Origen, like they've been scrimming Fnatic. Like, that's what this feels like to me, in the sense that Tabs has picked up this cannon. It looks like they've maybe been beaten by it in a scrim, and they're like, this is the way to go. We're going to split push with our 80 carry cannon. Because this is so far removed from what Origen were doing in previous series, previous games, that something has happened with a drastic play shift in the last week and a half.
Well, there's always a danger relying on scrim results to try and tell what ends up happening on the big stage. And it's another thing, got out of talking to Hussein last week. Hey, you know, Misfits Academy, they're a team that actually surprisingly perform better on stage than they do in scrims. And, you know, that's a bit of a rare trait for teams sometimes, and it definitely works in their favor. Jisoo stepping forward, but he doesn't know. Syncroft is right there.
Well here.
Oh boy. Okay, hop in. They're bringing the Shen. There's the red carpet, but it's Peke who finishes the damage off, and there's just a lot more friends on the Origen side. Pyratechnics now, he's isolated himself. See if he can hold on to this tower.
2-1-0 on the game for Peke so far. But it's not all just about those kills so far. I mean, Misfits Academy want to try and play it on the side lanes, and Origen doing a decent job at least of shutting them down here now. They brought the rest of the team up to the top side, trying to push them in. But Origen haven't got a tower yet. As long as they can equalize this tower, the tower lead from Misfits Academy before mid tower goes down, Origen still can contain some of this 1-3-1 setup that Misfits Academy are trying to run. But Jisoo was spotted on a ward. Pridestalker, he had the sweeper. Jisoo thought maybe if he gets out, everything will be okay. But there's the power of that Shen. Comes in with the Rengar, get onto Rumble. And ooh, looks like we just saw Nakian catch KazQ with the Shockwave. Flash still up for KazQ, so doesn't look like he ulted away either. That cooldown is still available as well.
Oh, that might come in handy here. Pridestalker trying to take down the Rift Scuttler. Syncroft beats him to the punch, and they get that secured up. That teleport spent back by KazQ. Hadn't talked as much. He spends it early, in fact. Haven't talked as much about the double TP setup, but that is what KazQ chose to run rather than the Ignite. Trying to get a little bit more map pressure around.
And I think that was because Origen was threatening Jisoo again.
Oh no, I've seen this one before. Jisoo in plain sight.
Jisoo is not playing around enemy wards particularly well.
He had such a good game 1.
Spot that? Yeah, he had a great game 1. Solo killing Sartorius, basically pushing him in the entire game long, but he's 0-4-0 on this Rumble.
Yep, that's going to be a little bit rough for him. We have seen some top lane struggles on both sides now so far in this series. Origen get themselves a Cloud Drake, so that gives them a little extra speed boost. Now KazQ, he's going to need some speed to get out of harm's way. Tabs coming in, that forces him to spend a Spear Rush charge, but Syncroft's there. Oh, so KazQ coming in again. He takes him out with the help of Pridestalker. Now TP up top. Jisoo's coming back, mop up some minions.
Very messy here. KazQ, skill shots not always landing for him. I thought maybe Syncroft was going to go aggressive, pop his ult and jump onto KazQ, but ends up just getting hit, taking a lot of damage. Pridestalker and KazQ just kind of take him out there. It's been a very weird last few minutes of this game. A lot of unnecessary deaths. These are the types of deaths and plays that we've kind of seen drop out of LCS teams for quite some time here. Here comes Tabs.
Well, Dreams, he's going to go down unless he can get himself out of harm's way in time, but no, not nearly enough. He does buy a little time for Yuki and Pridestalker to have to flash out of the Shockwave instantaneously. Talk about synchronization on that, but it's Origen. They're the ones pulling the trigger right now, and they've got the kill lead. Still down in gold because they haven't been able to find a tower, but now Jisoo has found Sartorius with the help of Pridestalker. There goes the equalizer. Nahun is going to limp out of it.
Misfits Academy, all that play comes from is the fact that after killing Synchro, they think, okay, we can go into the enemy jungle, get vision control.
Uh-oh, Peke, he's caught. Heals out. So he goes in again, Spirit Rush, and he does it, flashing back out. Now Sartorius is incoming, gets the flash taunt, and under tower, Tab should be able to get the kill, and Sartorius helps him juggle the aggro.
Okay, we're going all out, try and just kill anyone we can in this game right now, because this is how this is deteriorating. Origen are finally going to maybe open up a tower, but look at where mid lane is going to be pushed in response. Like, if Misfits Academy get this tower, it puts so much pressure onto Origen now, because they suddenly lose a lot more of the map. Misfits Academy will have you know, greater ease of walking into, like, Jisoo just killed Synchro.
Yeah, all right, and they get the tower. Nahun didn't have a shockwave to try and force them back, and now Jisoo's chasing on. He's got flash, he's gonna use it instantly, burning down the Yordle for a double kill, and just like that, Jisoo's back in the game.
I don't know whether that was Origen overstaying. Did they tank the tower up themselves? Did they try and get away from that before Jisoo? I mean, this game has just gone bonkers. Peke, this is the Shen play. Flash into him, try and get everything. Origen using 2-3 flashes to try and get kills here. Of course, they end up getting the kills, but how much does it mean? Double flash forced from Nahun's shockwave after he flashed, and then this is the exchange, Cosq killing Peke. Tab's lost a lot of his health here as well. Sartorius came in for this fight. Everybody was involved in everything, and this was like a whole minute to a minute and a half where the teams were just pushing. Okay, so Jisoo just with the minions, with the cannon minion, plus rumble damage. Tab's still on the health we saw at the end of the last replay. The rest of Misfits have pushed mid. Origen thought they were safe. Look at the damage comes out from Rumble.
Yep.
A lot of fighting.
It's definitely gone a little silly, but for Origen, we wanted them to get to this point in the game, being able to hold on, being able to find those 5v5 fights, and they had been sticking together for a while to try and force back Misfits Academy, but now they're all in the side lanes. Tabs and Cosq, you can see the rest of Misfits Academy are making their way into Origen territory, try and push people back after 20 minutes. The Barons, of course, now an option. Would be very early, and there isn't a hugely snowballed lead for Misfits Academy.
Hey, that doesn't mean that Origen won't rush it. Okay?
You're not wrong. You are
Doesn't
not wrong,
matter.
Stress.
Everybody's alive. Origen, they might look for the Baron. Again, Nation's not having the worst of games, which is perhaps overly negative of me to spin it in that way, because game one was good for him.
Yeah.
Ended up picking a bunch of kills, getting a lot of stuns down. I want to see whether his shockwaves can stand up in this game, maybe make a big impact. They are down in gold, but Misfits Academy, they get caught in a fight. This Kennen, this Orianna, can have that massive impact.
And to be fair to Nahun, too, even against some of the LCS level mid laners, he wasn't always falling down in the laning phase. A lot of it kind of came a little bit after when he just wasn't able to execute at that highest level. And on a champion like Orianna, well, there's 3,000 elo shockwaves and there's 300 elo shockwaves. Take your pick.
We'll see whether Nahun can hit that Pharrell Lord-esque shockwave. We're in Europe. We stick with Pharrell Lord.
Ah, okay. That's one of those advanced European things that even I don't know about, even after 2 years.
Uh-oh.
Okay, hold on. Tabs is coming in. Teleport. Oh, he's going out. Shane's half stock, but the teleport is interrupted, and Pridestalker gets caught by Synchro. And now Misfits Academy in full scramble right now. Cosq is unable to join the team. Oh man, Origen, they just opened up a can of surprise and ended up being a 1-for-1 with Tabs going down, but so did Pridestalker.
It looked like Sartorius, he was first interrupted on Stand United, then Cosq got interrupted on his teleport coming through. Origen wanting to continue this on now to the tower. It is Nahun, no shockwave available, so we'll zone Yuki back for a moment, but they've run out of minions. Origen trying desperately to equalize the tower difference.
Yeah, they managed to get one in that bottom, but we all know what happened afterwards. 7-7 in kills. Neither team's been really gun-shy the last several minutes. Now Jisoo is going to take his place down bottom to duke it out with Sartorius.
And Jisoo's gone from being not exactly the strongest at 0-4-0 to picking up 3 kills. Now has the Leandres alongside Voidstaff. Pridestalker just got taken out.
This was like 3 separate moments of action. While on the bottom side, it was like a duel between the Ahri and the Shen. And I mean, they got out with, only 1 death. That's not too bad for Misfits Academy, considering the expenditure.
Something that's going well for Misfits Academy is the AD carry matchup again.
Yeah.
Yuki 40 CS up. See if he can get himself a pentakill again.
I mean, that's something you always want to repeat, but if somebody did that all the time, that'd be a whole nother story.
I don't think Origen really want to repeat of that happening again.
Yeah. And speaking to Yuki too, like when you look at this roster at Misfits Academy, you look at names like Kozq, you look at hotshots like Pridestalker, only 17 years old and stepping up. Jisoo and Dreams, maybe this series you can make an argument for Jisoo kind of making the big step up, but Yuki is a guy that, you know, is actually on the older end of a pro player spectrum. He's 25 years old, and he's not been able to get up to the top level, but he's played on so many teams. I mean, you have to go back to like 2014 when he was playing on like the old Gamers 2, and he's been around for a long time.
And to that point, he struggled in Challenger on many of those teams. That Gamers 2 lineup was not the one that qualified for the LCS. The Millennium lineup that he played on wasn't the same Millennium that was dominating everybody, but Tabs.
We'll get back to that.
And killed Kozq.
Speaking of experienced AD carries, Kozq, he's able to get out of Tabs, but the rest of Origen are there. Synkrov finishing off the kill, slicing down the mid laner and burning a flash in the process. Origen, they're bringing the gang squad.
They're really firing back in this series as well now. They still behind on this matchup. Misfits Academy maintaining the lead, and if they can get out on those side lanes again, maybe they can push Origen back and try and take a second game win here, because they look pretty good in game 1. Game 2 has mostly been in their favor, but dodge out from Jisoo.
That was a hair's breadth away, and he actually burns flash to get rid of the tether. The wild growth was already on him, and they're not going to use that to re-engage the fight.
They don't want to fight without Kozq, is the main thing for Misfits Academy. He's a good percentage of the damage, although there is a Rumble, there's a Kha'Zix, there's a Varus, there is still a lot of damage. Kozq's ability to get in and out of fights can't really be overlooked. There is a third tower going down in favor of Origen. This one's an inner tower, so reduces a lot of the ability to play out on that top lane now. Long way from safety if anybody pushes out there.
We talked about Origen's ability to team fight, but rather than trying to take 5v5s, they're finding openings where Misfits Academy are isolated. It's not just been Jisoo, like we see on our screen here. It's Kozq just a few minutes ago, and that's the 8th kill of the game. They get themselves an equalizer on towers. It's definitely not looking too bad for Origen right now. They're within striking distance of evening up the gold game.
They are, but I think they've got to be careful that Misfits Academy don't punish them on some of those aggressive moves that Origen have been moving, that they've been making, where Peke's step forward to ward, or the Tabs has been caught out trying to go into the fight first.
They weren't always on the same page, in all fairness. No. Tabs has been honestly wanting to go all in on it, and they need to be able to sync that up. If you can land that big slicing maelstrom into a shockwave, that's how you delete people. That's the wombo combo you're looking for. And Synkrov and Sartorius, they can dive into the back line. Pretty much bring everybody with them. The only one who's not going deep is going to be Peke.
The problem is, remember that this is not the AP Kennen that we've seen. So yes, Kennen in those enclosed fights does a good amount of damage with the Hurricane, the Blade of the Ruined King, but if you're going in first, you need the rest of the team around you, because otherwise you're going to get taken out. You don't have a Zhonya's, you've got a QSS instead, so it means you can position yourself. But without a flash, Tabs has to be very careful going in. If they do get that lockdown, the fight's almost certainly done.
Yeah, it might be a one-way trip, I guess is what you're saying, but if you can combo that, if you can get the ball delivery on, obviously Synkrov has been a pretty attractive target for the Command Protect as well. We'll see if Misfits Academy can avoid that. Kozq is definitely nimble enough to do it. You can see the QSS also matched by Yuki. Yet to get that pentakill in game 2, but he's managed to keep himself alive the whole time.
Banking on it.
Satori is zoning here. Yuki's trying to fire him down, but meanwhile, Origen are doing double time on this tower as Leduc looks on for game number 2, hoping his team's able to pull out a win, evening up the series 1-1. That would be a great start for them. And Daehoon! Oh, he walks it out, but can he escape from the equalizer? The answer is yes. And they get some redemption off the back of it, but now Misfits Academy realize, okay, with some summoners burnt, everybody's on the board right now. Do we bait this Baron?
Well, they just got the honey fruit there as well, so they're able to heal back up a bit. Kozq's recalling out, does have TP available.
Origen, they're taking the bluff and trying to push down mid.
1,500 gold. He wants to complete his Void Staff before he's able to get into that fight. Did just pick it up. Wanted that all-important extra magic penetration to be able to cut perhaps through Sartorius a little more, who has that Spirit Visage. So does Synkrov. They've started itemizing well towards this magic damage where, I mean, even Varus is going to have a considerable amount of magic damage threat in fights. It comes from those Blight stacks. When you proc them, it's magic damage, not attack damage. So, of course, it's that mix of both. But if you can defend against 2.5 members of Misfits just by going one route. That's where Origen are going.
Oh. It was my favorite league-related sitcom, by the way. 2.5 members. Question, though, the Misfits Academy. Does Pyratechnics then become a lot more important, being the big AD source of damage on this team?
Are you asking if he gets replaced by Ashton Kutcher after a bunch of seasons?
Well, he certainly goes ham enough to beat Charlie Sheen, so...
Well, we're going to have to see at the end of this one whether Pyratechnics is going to be winning. It's an oldie and a baddie.
Holy moly. All right. You just went 110% on that one, Stress. I only can hope I can get to that level. But right now, at 30 minutes into this game, this is a much closer affair than even we had in game number 1. A big fight could really turn this game on its head. At this point, Misfits, they'd already started to acquire a bigger lead.
They had, and this one, realistically, Origen, I think, this style with the Shen is working out for them so much better than game 1, where they're trying to play into the Shen, trying to play that Gangplank matchup that went so far awry.
I mean, that was a very strange matchup for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, especially with first blood at 2 minutes. Like, in lane.
I mean, Sartorius knows he did an oopsie, but, you know, then he realized, hey, guys, what if I get the shot?
Yeah, what if I get it? The interesting part about that is we saw Sartorius before game 2 out on stage with Ducky talking, and I'm really interested to see how Sartorius, you know, mentality throughout this series continues on, because if he steadied the ship already from that first blood, then that's a good sign for Origen, but you've always got to now keep an eye on in between games how the players are reacting. That's one thing we're very fortunate to have here in the studio, is the ability to watch that unfold, because you start to see a lot of how teams interact when they go down a game and how do they bounce back.
And there's something to be said for that happening in, you know, the normal best-of-3 scenario that the teams have been playing with more or less throughout the entire split. But a best-of-5 is a different kind of animal, right? Like, you have more time, especially when you're in the promotion tournament, when your LCS career is on the line. I mean, that is a much bigger thing to worry about.
Right, that I can't disagree with you on that one, especially when Origen came out early and you know, said Sartorius is a player that we really want. He was one of the first members on to that lineup, and he realistically has a lot of weight on his shoulders, as well as the fact that you got Xpeke and Tabs in there. They will be shouldering a lot of that weight. There's some expectation still on this challenger mainstay of Sartorius to steady the Origen ship and get them through this playoffs.
Yeah, if they can make their way back into the LCS, could be a very different story for this Origen lineup. There's a Baron dance going on right now. See if Pyratechnics checks too deep into it. He's able to walk away without taking too much damage, but more to your point, Sartorius is not just a player with a lot of pressure on his shoulders, he's also a very self-critical one. And heard from him in an interview last week that, you know, hey, you know, it wasn't my best performance. Obviously, you're talking about going down 0-2, but the team seemed to be improved. He himself had a lot to say about his own performance, especially on that Gragas not being able to set up the initiations as much as they would have liked to. And, you know, that's even harder. When you are harder on yourself than everyone else around you, losing just becomes that much more painful.
And that's a pick, the Gragas, that I expect Sartorius to pick back up in this series. Ooh.
Speaking of picks, okay, can they get the damage? No, the Shen shield's there, but instantly they turn back around looking for Nahun. Pyratechnics able to get the job done, and Kozq is even able to flash out. Now they turn for Peke. It's Yuki that gets the kill. Pyratechnics still on top of Sartorius, and there's still a smite, but it's 5v3.
Quick turn for Baron out of Misfits Academy. Kozq is low, but he does have teleport available.
They're baiting this.
They're baiting.
Sartorius stepping
Sartorius,
up.
Careful.
Oh, do they have the damage? He's going to taunt away. Still has flash.
And look at how clean it's been for Misfits Academy right now, controlling the Baron. There's so many wards for Misfits and none for Origen available. Kozq's going to TP back into this because Misfits have started the Baron this time around. Can Synkrov get in there? He's no ultimate. Kozq can look to defend with Jisoo because of the charm. It's already gone.
And they lay down the equalizer just to make sure Synkrov wouldn't get any cheeky ideas at the last second. 33 minutes, that's the first Baron of the game. It goes Misfits Academy's way, and they've got some waves to start cleaning up.
They've been looking a lot better in this last couple of minutes of game 2. It's been a slower one after that crazy number of kills back and forth from both teams. But Misfits Academy seem to be the team that have really taken it to Origen in the last couple of minutes. You can see from the control wooded area, Koskyu jumps out, lands a charm. Pridestalker finishes off the kill onto Nahian, who was barely not able to flash away. You can see that cooldown's coming up soon. Nahian was down for 47 seconds. That opened up the Baron.
And it was so critical that Koskyu lived through that, and this is what you were talking about, his ability to get in and to get out, if necessary, of these fights, with Origen having so many tools at their disposal to lock down these key members of Misfits. Let's see if they can do it again. Looking for a pincer. That is a two-man taunt right now, and Sartorius and Syncrov double time, but the damage is there. The shockwave pulls Yuki. Oh, he's still able to flash out, and now Tabs is in trouble. Slicing Maelstrom. Not enough damage for the rest of Misfits Academy. Have to hightail it out, and they've got a redemption of their own to stay alive. Oh, let's see if they go back in for round 2. Here comes Jisoo flashing forward. It's a redemption from the Origen side. They're going to get some health back, but they're burning low. Misfits Academy on the chase here. Sartorius back in base. Now it's time to turn for this mid lane inhibitor turret.
Jisoo doing enough work to continue the Pridestalker and the rest of the Misfits attempt at mid tower. Look at how fast they crushed down that inhibitor now, and from what looked like a very close game between Origen and Misfits Academy, Misfits Academy have blown wide open. They were able to get pick after pick and just take Origen to pieces as they get their first inhibitor of the game.
Yeah, they just totaled those two towers really quick-like, and this is like what we were seeing earlier on in game number 1, a little bit later than to be expected.
Canceled. He canceled his TP.
He doesn't have Stand United either. It's no way for him to get back there quickly.
Origen looked very flustered on the last few minutes of this game. Misfits Academy have caught them out with the charms from Ari. Yuki's done a good job managing to get himself out of the fight. Just surviving was so critical to being able to take down the rest of these towers. Double Taunt came through. You can see Lulu shield and ult goes onto Yuki. Even eats the shockwave and he survived. Tabs looked like he could clean up, but couldn't close the distance here. Didn't have the ability to get in there. Redemption comes through and Misfits Academy buy enough time for Rumble to come around the side. Flash into the Electro Harpoon. Good equalizer, at least to damage some of the Origen members there on their way out. Slow them down and allow Misfits to push down the mid inhibitor.
Every summoner burned on the Misfits Academy side, and every single one of them worth. Now Sartorius is caught out and isolated. No way for him to get out of harm's way. There's no Stand United coming for this guy, and now as he taunts onto Pridestalker, Yuki and Dreams are there, locking him up with the chains of corruption. He might be tanky, but it's not enough, and now Peke trying to turn this one around, but Koskyu is here, and the rest of Origen knows they cannot take this fight. 28 seconds till the Elder is going to spawn up on this map.
Misfits active on the map, punishing Origen at every turn. And it's been a very different series than Origen would be expecting here. They thought maybe they could match up against Misfits Academy, of course, given it from the fact that Giants selected Fnatic Academy, and Misfits Academy have looked a lot stronger from the bottom lane than perhaps we've seen in recent weeks. Mid lane's worked well. Koskyu, Jisoo in game 1 doing very well, but it's Misfits as a team have been good at punishing Origen when they've made mistakes.
And the macro decisions that they have made have been a huge part of this. Coming into this series, it'd be easy to be forgiven for just thinking, all right, it's going to be all on the back of Pridestalker. This is what we saw against Schalke. Not the case. Misfits Academy are showing up in several lanes right now, and it nets them not one, but 2 inhibitors overall, that mid one having fallen a little earlier on. And let's see if they can keep this one going. Koskyu and Pridestalker. Oh, that's a lot of damage from the command attack. Dissonance combo, but Pridestalker sitting pretty with his Guardian Angel. Now, Elder Dragon's up next. See if Koskyu can get a pick off. Shockwave deletes him as he goes in. Or a bit of an ill-advised play now. This might open up the game for Origen a bit.
And that right there is a decision-making out of Misfits that could very well turn this series back around. They have a good lead already. Pridestalker wants to try and get in, but they drip in one by one here for Misfits. Now Equalizer comes out.
Okay, can they pick off Tabs right now?
Dead.
They can. Yuki's able to do it, but he is going to get popped instantly, shut down by Syncrov. Dreams flashing away. Syncrov hopping, misses the bullet, doesn't matter. Has the knives, but Dreams is whimsying away. Not till the bullet strike knocks him in the back of the head. It's just Tabs traded for Koskyu, Yuki, and Dreams, and it was Koskyu getting blown up that really started that whole thing.
Now Origen are going to be the ones committing to the Elder Drake. Pridestalker is blind on this one. The ward has been control warded out. Can he jump in there and actually steal it away? Is it even worthwhile at this point? Yeah, no ult.
Zoned up by Peke here.
ability to get in. Good job from Peke and from Misfits Academy, looking like they were in full control. Oh, Pridestalker.
His ult comes off cooldown. Jisoo, meanwhile, was leading minions into the mid, so Pridestalker's actually just buying time. He does get taken off by Synkrov, and meanwhile, Koski died too, but look at the Nexus turrets.
Nexus turret is going down. Nobody has been able to stop them.
Oh, he's going to stop
them.
He's going to kill him on this one now. Oh, man. That was sexy.
Tabs got back. Jisoo just flashes in.
Oh, no.
Oh.
The Winions.
Oh, barely.
Oh.
No.
Ooh.
Survives. Barely survives in favor of Origen, but already one Nexus tower is down. Misfits, it's gone a little crazy again on this game. First of all, the attempted kill onto Synkrov downs KOSQ. He tries to go 1 versus 4. Then Origen attempting the Elder Drake, turn, catch Pridestalker, take out his Guardian Angel, and then Misfits Academy have swapped sides with Origen for the remainder of this fight. Dreams eventually dies, but Jisoo, with the hero plays, trying to just hold on, taking out as many Origen members that were recalling as possible, because Misfits, they want to close this game out. They want a clean end to this. KOSQ, oh, that's painful. We didn't see that live.
That is, it feels bad, man.
Yeah.
All right, so 13 to 13 kills. But it's critical for Origen that they now got an Elder Drake, even if it came at the expense of nearly losing both their Nexus turrets. Can Misfits Academy rush down this Baron? Are they going to try it, in fact? Because there's full health entire Origen squad, including Satorius with all of his cooldowns up and available.
Well, it kind of relies on that top inhibitor being down. Stanzionite's going to do KOSQ.
We've seen this one before. KOSQ's going to have to burn a couple more charges of Spirit Rush. He uses 2, 3. Syncroft's still on the chase right now, but he's the only one here. He goes through the hunt, looking for Pridestalker, who hops in. They're going for mid. They're going to try to get themselves a quick inhib. And now Jisoo, they've got some healing, courtesy of the Redemption. But Origen, they've reacted in time. Pridestalker getting caught out by Syncroft. Satorius on the front line. They don't get the kills.
Satorius didn't get the taunt either. Or Tabs now trying to catch Jisoo out.
Can they do it?
Might force a fight here.
They're not healthy enough, but they have the minion waves. Origen cannot make too many moves to combat this, but Misfits Academy, they're not healthy enough. They don't feel like they can take the fight at the Baron pit just yet, so Jisoo backs away. He's got teleport available if he needs it.
They just pinged onto the ward that is behind a lot of Origen's mid lane. Now the TP is coming through.
Spending it. Oh, he's going to mid lane.
He's going to mid. I don't think he's looking to end. He's looking to close in around Origen.
He finds Nahun. That's a big equalizer, but they're able to walk away from most of it. And the Blast Cone detonation means that Misfits Academy, their chance to take that fight, went up in ashes.
Misfits Academy throwing a lot of these attempted fights around Baron here. And of course now Nakian Shockwave is back available. So is Synchrom.
So is KOSQ. He goes in. He gets a kill. Shockwave out of the equation. It's a double kill now for the Ari. Jisoo might get caught, but a wild growth is going to keep him alive. And in comes Pridestalker trying to take down Syncroft. Caught up by the Bola. But it doesn't matter, even with the taunt out. Origen, they're moving slow, and Misfits Academy are marching down the mid lane. KOSQ's on the top. It's 4v3. Misfits Academy, they smell the win right now. They want to get themselves up 2-0 in this series.
Misfits Academy should have enough. They've taken down Satorius, Tabs, and Syncroft won't be enough. Misfits find Nakian. KOSQ flashed over the wall, got the kill. It's enough. They're 2-0 up, surely.
Oh, Tabs, last-ditch effort right now, but in comes Pridestalker. They take it down. They grab the Nexus. 42 minutes in now. Syncroft, pad those stats. There's a shutdown for Jisoo, and it's match point for Misfits.
It didn't start quite in favor of Misfits as the first game, but it ends dramatically in their favor. A big pick from KOSQ onto Nakian really shut this game out from Origen. They just crush back through that mid lane. Everything goes in favor of Misfits Academy, and they're on the verge of putting both challenger teams in the winners bracket final, meaning that we would certainly have one new LCS team come summer 2017.
Wouldn't that be a hell of a match? Origen on their side has to be shocking. One game away from being knocked down to losers bracket, setting up a dance with Giants Gaming. Lost yesterday. Gonna have some soul searching to do no matter what, and we'll have to see what the coach has to say to them after that one. It was a much more even game for the majority of it, but when Misfits hit the gas pedal, there was no stopping them.
Yeah, there really wasn't. I'm a little concerned looking at how Origen, the playstyle that they're trying to play for themselves. They're getting tabs this cannon now in both games. I think they need to put a little bit more priority on like the Varus, try and maybe get an Ashe, something like that for Origen, something where tabs has a little bit more use, because he's not having bad games as such.
He just doesn't have the damage. He's become utility.
Yeah, the problem is not necessarily the damage, it's that his utility revolves around him going aggressively into the enemy team and he dies. His utility on Varus or on the Ashe allows him to put out crowd control and then take a step back. That's not the same as Kennen, and they're not utilizing him on a side lane like Fnatic have been in the LCS. They're not really allowing him to do too much in these games.
Yeah, and that has been a little troubling because throughout the LCS split, tabs was much more comfortable to kind of play back, and even if they would lose lane every now and again, he still was able to come up during the mid games. He's a very experienced player, and you know, I think they could definitely change that up, and we might see a big difference. Satorius as well. They've been putting him in a bit more of a comfortable situation, but as you suggested, maybe we'll see the Gragas back. We saw the potential of, you know, being able to flash engage, the barrel still being a very useful thing. But I mean, that's the question we really have to ask is the man on your screen here, Peke, that shot calling, where is it?
Well, that's where you've got to look at it, like how much of it actually is Peke shot calling in the game and how much of it is the rest of the team, because we can basically hear Misfits shot calling. Jisu's got a very strong voice in his team by the looks of it, but I mean, that legendary shot calling that you're alluding to,
or leadership at the very least,
necessarily seem to be showing up, or at least it's not enough for Origen to overcome this. They're now one game away from being out of the winners bracket in the promotion tournament. Misfits Academy, on the other hand, the team that barely scraped into 4th place in the Challenger playoffs or round robins.
Yeah. Then taking down Schalke.
One game away after beating Schalke from beating Origen and putting themselves a series away from the LCS. Trying to replicate what their sister team Misfits did the split before. They're in a good spot.
Might be the case, but we did see Origen at least at one point manage to come back against the Misfits squad. Maybe they'll do it again. Misfits Academy, they've brought us to match point, and it's all on Origen to avoid the sweep. Game 3 is coming your way right after this.
I was always a better support.
Whoa, baby.
Oh, no.
Charge, but Syncroft's there. Oh, Kozcube coming in again. He takes him out with the help of Pride Stalker. Hold on, Tabs is coming in. Teleport. Oh, he's going out. Chains have stopped, but the teleport is interrupted, and Pride Stalker gets caught by Syncroft.
I got Oriana. I go Karma. Good job. I slow.
I shield you. Run up.
Yeah, I have to run.
Nice.
That's really good.
Clear wave.
Then comes Pride Stalker. They take it down. They grab the Nexus. 42 minutes in now. Syncroft had those stats. There's a shutdown for Jisoo, and it's match point for Misfits.